Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I don't expect anybody to be here tonight. We just did Jeremiah. We read chapters 11 through 29, but I just felt inspired to read more of the smaller books. So here's Micah, and hope you enjoy it. Love you, family. The book of Micah, chapter 1. The word of Yahuwah that came to Micah the Morashite in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear, all ye people, hearken. When the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered, and it came to pass, when the sun did arise, that Aluah prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat upon the head of Jonah, that he fainted, and wished in himself to die, and said, It is better for me to die than to live. And Aluah said to Jonah, Doest thou well to be angry for the gourd? And he said, I do well to be angry, even unto death. Then said Yahuwah, Thou hast had pity on the gourd, for the which thou hast not labored, neither madest it grow, which came up in a night, and perished in a night. And should not I spare Nineveh? You know what? That's not... you know what? Family. You know it's late, but you know that ain't Micah. You know that's Jonah. That's Jonah. So you know what that's telling me? I'm going to read Jonah. Thank you, Most High. And then we'll get into Micah. But yeah, I was like, wait a minute, this is Jonah. Yeah, it's Jonah. Yeah, that was me. Love you, family. Yeah, it's late. Well, you know what? We could do Obadiah too. So, you know what? I'm going to do Obadiah. I'm tired, but I don't know. I just got it in me. I just want to read the word. I do. Okay, family. Okay. We're going to go to Obadiah. Okay. Sorry. I'm like, and I can't edit that out now, can I, family? And I'm like, this is Jonah. What is up with this? It's late, but I'm still to read the word, and if I make another mistake like that, I'm done for the night. But I love you guys. Shalom. Okay. The book of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahuwah, Aluah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahuwah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahuwah. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they have had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of the confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahuwah, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? Shabbat, everyone. Thank you. And thy mighty men, O Teremin, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence and against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots after upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of Yahuwah is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done. Unto thee thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahuwah hath spoken it. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain in the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of children of Yesharel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath. And the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion, and judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be of Yahuwah's. That's Obadiah. I was going to go with Micah, but I messed up and was reading Jonah. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to Jonah. Then I'm like, you know what? Nope, I'm going to go to Obadiah, because it's just not even 2 pages. Shalom, family. Shabbat shalom. Okay, so here's Jonah, chapter 1. Now the word of Yahuwah came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness is come up before me. But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahuwah, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahuwah. But Yahuwah sent out a great wind into the sea, and there was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. Then the mariners were afraid, and cried every man unto his God, and cast forth the wares that were in the ship into the sea, to lighten it of them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. So the shipmaster came to him and said unto him, What meanest thou, O sleeper? Arise, call upon thy Eluah, if so be that Eluah will think upon us, and that we perish not. And they said, every one to his fellow, Come, and let us cast lots, that we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Then said they unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. Hold on a second, I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay. I'll just start here because I can't remember. Sorry. Just noticed I started choking. Then said they unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation? And And they said every one to their fellow, Come and let us I already did that. Then they said unto him, Tell us, we pray thee, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is thine occupation, and hence comest thou? What is thy country, and of what people art thou? And he said unto them, I am an Hebrew, and I fear Yahuwah, the Eluah of heaven, which hath made the sea and the dry lands. Then were the men exceedingly afraid, and said unto him, Why hast thou done this? For the men knew that he fled from the presence of Yahuwah, because he had told them. Then said they unto him, What shall we do unto thee, that the sea may become unto us? For the sea wrought and was tempestuous. And he said unto them, Take me up and cast me forth into the sea, so the sea shall become unto you. For I know that for my sake this great tempest is upon you. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to bring it to the land, but they could not, for the sea wrought and was tempestuous against them. Wherefore they cried unto Yahuwah, and said, We beseech thee, O Yahuwah, we beseech thee, let us not perish for this man's life, and lay not upon us innocent blood, for thou, O Yahuwah, hast done as it pleased thee. So they took up Jonah, and cast him forth into the sea, and the sea ceased from her raging. Then the men feared Yahuwah exceedingly, and offered a sacrifice unto Yahuwah, and made vows. Now Yahuwah had prepared a great fish to swallow up Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Chapter 2. Then Jonah prayed unto Yahuwah his Eluah out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto Yahuwah, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. For thou hast cast me into the deep, in the midst of the seas, and the floods compassed me about. All the billows and thy waves passed over me. Then I said, I am cast out of thy sight, yet I will look again toward thy holy temple. The waters compassed me about, even to the soul. The depths closed me around about, the weeds were wrapped about my head. I went down to the bottoms of the mountains. The earth with her bars was about me forever. Yet hast thou brought up my life from corruption, O Yahuwah, my Eluah. When my soul fainted within me, I remembered Yahuwah, and my prayer came in unto thee, into thine holy temple. They that observe lying vanities forsake their own mercy. But I will sacrifice unto thee with a voice of thanksgiving. I will pray that I have vowed. Salvation is of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah spake unto the fish, and it vomited out Jonah upon the dry land. Chapter 3. And the word of Yahuwah came unto Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh, according to the word of Yahuwah. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city of 3 days' journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So the people of Nineveh believed Eluah, and proclaimed a fast, and put on sackcloth from the greatness of them even to the least of them. For word came unto the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, and he laid his robe from him, and covered him with sackcloth, and sat in the ashes. And he caused it to be proclaimed and published through Nineveh by the decree of the king and his nobles, saying, Let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock, taste anything. Let them not feed, nor drink water. But let man and beast be covered with sackcloth, and cry mightily unto Eluah. Yea, let them turn every one from his evil way, and from the violence that is in their hands. Who can tell if Eluah will turn and repent, and turn away from his fierce anger, that we perish not? And Eluah saw their works, and they turned from their evil ways. And Eluah repented of the evil that he had said that he would do unto them, and he did it not. Chapter 4. But it displeased Jonah exceedingly, and he was very angry. And he prayed unto the Yahuwah, and said, I pray thee, O Yahuwah, was not this my saying, when I was yet in my country? Therefore I fled before unto Tarshish, for I knew that thou art a gracious Eluah, and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repentest thee of the evil. Therefore now, O Yahuwah, take, I beseech thee, my life from me, for it is better for me to die than to live. Then said Yahuwah, Doest thou well to be angry? So Jonah went out of the city and sat on the east side of the city, and there made him a booth, and sat under it in the shadow, till he might see what would become of the city. And Yahuwah prepared a gourd, and made it to come up over Jonah, that it might be a shadow over his head, to deliver him from his grief. So Jonah was exceedingly glad of the gourd. But Yahuwah prepared a worm, when the morning rose the next day, and it smote the gourd that it withered. And it came to pass, when the sun did arise, that Yahuwah prepared a vehement east wind, and the sun beat upon the head of Jonah, that he fainted and wished in himself to die, and said, It is better for me to die than to live. And Yahuwah said to Jonah, Doest thou well to be angry for the gourd? And he said, I do well to be angry, even unto death. Then said Yahuwah, Thou hast had pity on the gourd, for the which thou hast not labored, neither madest it grow, which came up in a night, and perished in a night. And should not I spare Nineveh, that great city wherein are more than 60,000 persons, that cannot discern between their right hand and their left hand, and also much cattle? Okay, and then now that's Micah. Chapter 1. The word of Yahuwah that came to Micah the Morashite in the days of Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, which he saw concerning Samaria and Jerusalem. Hear ye, ye people, hearken, O earth, and all that therein is, and let Yahuwah be witness against you, Yahuwah from his holy temple. For behold, Yahuwah cometh forth out of his place, and will come down and tread upon the high places of the earth. And the mountains shall be molten under him, and the valley shall be cleft as wax before the fire, and as the waters that are poured down a steep place. For the transgressions of Jacob is all this, and for the sins of the house of Yisrael. What is the transgression of Jacob? Is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Judah? Are they not Jerusalem? Therefore I will make Samaria an heap of the field, and as planting of a vineyard, and I will pour down the stones thereof into the valley, and I will discover the foundations whereof, and all the graven images thereof shall be beaten into pieces, and all the hires thereof should be burned with the fire, and all the idols thereof will I lay desolate. For she gathered it of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of an harlot. Therefore I will wail and howl, I will go stripped and naked, I will make a wailing like the dragons, and mourning as the owls. For her wounds is incurable, for it is come unto Judah, he is come unto the gate of my people, even to Jerusalem. Declare ye it not at Gath, weep ye not at all in the house of Ephath. Roll thyself in the dust, pass ye away, thou inhabitant of Saphir, having thy shame naked. The inhabitant of Zanon came not forth in the morning of Bethezel. He shall receive of you his standing. For the inhabitant of Meroth waited carefully for good, But evil came down from Yahuwah unto the gate of Jerusalem. O thou inhabitant of Lachish, bind the chariot to the swift beast. She is the beginning of the sin to the daughter of Zion. For the transgressions of Yesharel were found in thee. Therefore shalt thou give presents to Moresheth. The houses of Achzib shall be a lie to the kings of Yesharel. Yet will I bring an heir unto thee, O inhabitant of Mareshah. He shall come unto Adullam, and the glory of Yesharel. Make thee bald, and poll thee for thy delicate children. Enlarge the boldness as the eagle, for they are gone into captivity from thee. Hold on one second. Thank you, family. Chapter 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hands. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, We be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of Yahuwah. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy, they shall not prophesy to them, that they shall not take shame. O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the spirit of Yahuwah straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory forever. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction, if a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink. He shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Yesharel. I will put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They have broken up and have passed through the gate and are gone out by it. And their king shall pass before them, and Yahuwah on the head of them. Chapter 3. And I said, Hear, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Yesharel. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people, and flay their skin from off of them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces, as for the pot, and as flesh within the cauldron? Then shall they cry unto Yahuwah, but he will not hear them. He will even hide his face from them at that time, as they have behaved themselves ill in their doings. Thus saith Yahuwah concerning the prophets that make my people err, that bite with their teeth and cry, Peace, and he that putteth not into their mouths, they even prepare war against him. Therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision, and it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets, and the day shall be dark over them. Then shall the seers be ashamed, and the diviners confounded. Yea, they shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer of Eluah. But truly I am full of power by the Spirit of Yahuwah, and of judgment, and of might, to declare unto Jacob his transgression, and to Yesharel his sin. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob, and princes of the house of Yesharel, that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. They build up Zion with blood, and Jerusalem with iniquity. The head thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof reach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon Yahuwah, and say, Is not Yahuwah among us? None evil can come upon us. Therefore shall Zion for your sake be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountains of the house as the high places of the forest. Chapter 4. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahuwah shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it, and many nations shall come and say, Come and let us go to the mountain of Yahuwah, and to the house of Eluah of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion. You notice it said the last days, and then it just said the law. For the law shall go forth of Zion. So I guess we should probably be doing the laws. And the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nations shall not lift up a sword against nations, neither shall they learn war anymore. But they shall sit every man under his vine, and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Yahuwah of hosts hath spoken it. For all people will walk every one in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of Yahuwah our Eluah forever and ever. In that day, saith Yahuwah, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation. And Yahuwah shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth, even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall it come, even the first dominion, the kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. Now why dost thou cry out? Cry out aloud, is there no king in thee? Is thy counselor perished? For pangs have taken thee as a woman in travail. Be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There Yahuwah shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Now also many nations are gathered against thee, that say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. But they know not the thoughts of the Yahuwah, neither understand they his counsel, for he shall gather them as the sheaves into the floor. Arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hoofs brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their gain unto Yahuwah, and their substance unto Yahuwah of the whole earth. Chapter 5. Now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yesharel with a rod upon the cheek. But thou, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Yesharel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Yesharel, and he shall stand and feed in the strength of Yahuwah, in the majesty of the name of Yahuwah his Eluah, and they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth. And this man shall be the peace, when the Assyrian shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces, then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. And they shall waste the land of Assyria with the sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrance thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, which he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our borders. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from Yahuwah, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of shepherd, who, if he go through, both treadeth down, and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up. Upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuwah, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. And I will cut off the cities of thy land, and throw down all thy strongholds. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hands, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and the standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands, and I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy the cities, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. Chapter 6. Hear ye now what Yahuwah saith. Arise, contend thou before the mountains, and let the hills hear thy voice. Hear ye, O mountains, Yahuwah's controversy, and ye strong foundation of the earth. For Yahuwah hath a controversy with his people, and he will plead with Yesharel. O my people, what have I done unto thee? And wherein have I wearied thee? Testify against me. For I brought thee up out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed thee out of the house of servants. And I sent before thee Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. O my people, remember now what Balak, king of Moab, consulted, and what Balaam, the son of Beor, answered him from Shittim unto Gilgal, that ye... I don't know what I did. That ye may know the righteousness of Yahuwah. Wherewith shall I come before Yahuwah, and bow myself before the high God, the high Eluah? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves of a year old? Will Yahuwah be pleased with thousands of rams, or with 10,000 of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He hath shewed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth Yahuwah require of thee, but do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with Eluah. This is one of my... I'm going to repeat that because I really like this. He hath shewed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth Yahuwah require of thee, but to justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy Eluah. Yahuwah. Okay. Yahuwah's voice crieth unto the city, and the man of wisdom shall see thy name. Hear ye thy rod, and who hath appointed it? Are there yet the treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? Shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bags of deceitful weights? For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Therefore also will I make thee sick in smiting thee, and making thee desolate because of thy sins. Thou shalt eat, but not be satisfied, and thy casting down shall be in the midst of thee. And thou shalt take hold, but shalt not deliver. And that which thou deliverest will I give up to the sword. Thou shalt sow, but thou shalt not reap. Thou shalt tread the olives, but thou shalt not anoint thee with oil, and sweet wine, but shalt not drink wine. For the statutes of Omri are kept, and all the works of the house of Ahab, and ye walk in their counsels, that I should make thee a desolation, and the inhabitants thereof and hissing. Therefore ye shall bear the reproach of my people. Chapter 7. Woe is me, for I am as when they have gathered the summer fruits, as the grape gleanings of the vintage. There is no cluster to eat. My soul desireth the first ripe fruit. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net, that they may do evil with both hands. Earnestly the prince asketh, and the judge asketh for a reward, and the great man, he uttereth his mischievous desire, so they wrap it up. The best of them is as a briar. The most upright is sharper than a thorn hedge. The day of thy watchman and thy visitation cometh. Now shall be their perplexity. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in the bosom. For the son of dishonoureth the father. The daughter riseth up against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Therefore I will look unto Yahuwah. I will wait for Eluah of my salvation. My Eluah will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in the darkness, Yahuwah shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of Yahuwah, because I have sinned against him, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, Where is Yahuwah thy Eluah? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets? In the day that thy walls are to be built, in the day shall the decree be far removed. In the day also he shall come even to thee from Assyria, and from the fortified cities, and from the fortresses even to the river, and from sea to sea, and from mountain to mountain. Notwithstanding the land shall be desolate because of them that dwell therein, for the fruit of their doings. Feed thy people with thy rod, the flock of thine heritage, which dwell solitarily in the wood, in the midst of Carmel. Let them feed in Bashan and Gilead, as in the days of old, according to the days of thy coming out of the land of Egypt, will I shew unto him marvelous things. The nations shall see and be confounded at all their might. They shall lay their hands upon their mouth. Their ears shall be deaf. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like worms of the earth. They shall be afraid of Yahuwah our Eluah, and shall fear because of thee. Who is a Eluah like unto thee, that pardoneth iniquity, and passeth by the transgression of the remnant of his heritage. He retaineth not his anger forever, because he delighteth in mercy. He will turn again, he will have compassion upon us. He will subdue our iniquities, and thou wilt cast out all their sins into the depths of the sea. Thou wilt perform the truth of Jacob, and the mercy to Abraham, which thou hast sworn unto our fathers from the days of old. As long as I can, as long as I'm able to, still read and not mess up that bad, I think I'm going to read a couple more, family. These small books, they're quick. For everybody that's here, thank you. And for everybody that sees this ahead, I hope you're getting as much value as I am from this. I love you guys. The Book of Nahum, Chapter 1. The burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum, the Elkoshite. Eluah is jealous, and Yahuwah revengeth. Yahuwah revengeth and is furious. Yahuwah will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. Yahuwah is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahuwah hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea, and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth in Carmel, and the flower of Lebanon languisheth. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence, yea, the world, and all that dwell therein. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. Yahuwah is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. But with an overrunning flood he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do ye imagine against Yahuwah? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. For while they be folden together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured as stubble fully dry. There is one come out of thee that imagineth evil against Yahuwah, a wicked counselor. Thus saith Yahuwah, though they be quiet, and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down. When he shall pass through I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. For now will I break his yoke from off thee, and will burst thy bonds in sunder. And Yahuwah hath given a commandment concerning thee, that no more of thy name be sown. Out of the house of thy gods will I cut off the graven images and the molten images. I will make thy grave, for thou art vile. Behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good tidings. Sorry. Sorry, family. Good tidings that publisheth peace. O Judah, keep my solemn feast Perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. Chapter 2. He that dasheth in pieces is come up before thy face. Keep the munition, watch the way, make thy loins strong, fortify thy power mightily. For Yahuwah hath turned away the excellence of Jacob, as the excellence of Yesharel, for the emptiers have emptied them out, and marred their vine branches. The shield of his mighty men is made red, the valiant men are in scarlet. The chariots shall be with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the fir trees shall be terribly shaken. The chariots shall rage in the streets, they shall justle one against another. In the broad ways they shall seem like torches, they shall run like the lightnings. He shall recount his worthies. They shall stumble in their walk. They shall make haste to the wall thereof, and the defense shall be prepared. The gates of the rivers shall be opened, and the palace shall be dissolved, and Huzab shall be led away captive. She shall be brought up, and her maids shall lead her as with the voice of doves, tabering upon their breasts. But Nineveh is of old like a pool of water, yet they shall flee away. Stand, stand, shall they cry, but none shall look back. Take ye the spoil of silver, take the spoil of gold, for there is none end of the store, and glory out of all the pleasant furniture. She is empty and void and waste, and the heart melteth, and the knee smite together, and much pain is in all loins, and the faces of them all gather blackness. Where is the dwelling of the lions, and the feeding place of the young lions, where the lion, even the old lion, walked, and the lions whelp, and none made them afraid? The lion did tear in pieces enough for his whelps, and strangled for his lioness, and filled his holes with prey, and his dens with raven. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahuwah of hosts, and I will burn her chariots in the smoke, and the sword shall devour thy young lions, and I will cut off thy prey from the earth, and the voice of the messengers shall no more be heard. Chapter 3. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifteth up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of their corpses. They stumble upon their corpses, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-flavored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith Yahuwah of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdom thy shame. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Hence, shall I seek comforters for thee? Art thou better than popular? No, that was situate among the rivers that had waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Put and Lubim were thy helpers. Yet she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets as they cast lots. For her honorable men and all her great men were bound in chains. Thou also shalt be drunken, thou shalt be hid, thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. All thy strongholds shall be like fig trees with the first striped figs. If they be shaken, they shall even fall into the mouth of the eater. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of the land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars. Draw thee waters for the siege, fortifying the strongholds. Go into clay and tread the mortar. Make strong the brickle. There shall the fire devour thee. The sword shall cut thee off. It shall eat thee up like the cankerworm. Make thyself many as the cankerworm. As the cankerworm, make thyself many as the locust. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants above the stars of heaven. The cankerworm spotteth and fleeth away. Thy crowned are as the locust, and thy captains as the great grasshoppers, which camp in the hedges in the cold days. But when the sun ariseth, they flee away, and their place is not known where they are. Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. The nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people is scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathering them. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous, and all that hear the bruit of these shall clap the hands over thee. For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passeth continually. And I think I'm going to do... You know what? Yeah, we're going to stop there. We're going to stop there, family. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I love these stories. You know, the Most High has really, really put it in my heart that his word needs to get out there. And I know some of the things I say if I'm asking questions, which I know the answers to, but I'm trying to get the people that don't know. And for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear that aren't aware yet, you know what I mean? And because, I mean, breaks my heart what's happening. But, Yahuwah, I'm just in prayer that a lot more people will have eyes to see and ears to hear. And I just love you guys. I love you so much. And I hope everyone, you know, I'm going right to bed. Well, I'm going to charge the phone up and then I'm going right to bed. Oh, I love you, family. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good night.